As the Atlantic hurricane season continues, the first major system made landfall in the Caribbean recently. We sympathize with our neighbors in the Bahamas and, of course, all those who may have been affected by the system. Inside the magazine today, we hear from the Meteorological Service about things to be mindful of during this season. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is Jamaica Magazine. The news is on the other side of this message. Stay with us.
Yo, this is we're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to OPM. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, September 3. $20 million is being spent to renovate 5 wards at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine. These include wards 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The work includes repairs to ceilings, doors, and lightings, meshing and painting of wards, installation of ceiling fans and hand wash stations, as well as carpentry and masonry work. Chief Executive Officer for the hospital, Dwayne Francis, tells JIS News that funding is being provided by the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SARA.
It is at an aim to improve the aesthetics on the wards and take the opportunity to address any infrastructural challenges that may be on the ward that we could not have done prior to having our ward being empty.
Mr. Francis says Ward 3 was reopened just last month following renovation activities. 700 farmers from Manchester and St. Elizabeth will receive Global GAP certification training under the Essex Valley Agriculture Development Project. This certification will indicate to consumers that crops being produced on the farms are healthy and safe for consumption. It also signals that the farmers have adopted environmental best practices. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Dermot Spence, says this certification is critical to the sustainability of the agriculture sector.
The standard was developed to ensure that farm produce meets the relevant international food safety standard. It includes produce handling, integrated crop management, integrated pest management, quality management systems, hazard analysis, critical control point, and also covers food traceability. And it is also said that certification will enhance export opportunities.
Mr. Spence was speaking at a stakeholders consultancy meeting hosted by the ministry on Monday. Training for the farmers and other stakeholders will begin this month. Upon certification, the farms will be listed on the Global GAP online database, a platform for validated farm data on food safety and sustainability. Global GAP is an internationally recognized set of farm standards dedicated to good agricultural practices. A national school leaving certificate program will be rolled out this academic year by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Under the program, all students who successfully complete their secondary education will be awarded a certificate. This certificate will be more expansive than the school leaving documents currently provided by individual institutions. It will document the students' competencies developed over the 7 years of high school from grades 7 to 13.
Each certificate will be unique to the student. It will reflect the student's behavioral competencies, performance in internal and external examinations, as well as involvement in sports, social and cultural activities. So here we are broadening the scope of the student who receives this certificate.
To receive the National School Leaving Certificate, students will be required to pass mathematics, English language, and at least one skill area, and complete 8 weeks or 320 hours of work experience. Students must also complete at least 7 years of secondary level schooling to receive the certificate. At any other stage, the student will receive a report or a transcript. Also within this academic year, government plans to complete the National School Nutrition Policy. The policy aims to promote healthy eating and physical activity in schools and outline the recommended nutrient standards for meals, snacks, and beverages. It also supports the ban on certain types of sugary drinks in schools, implemented by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in January.
We support the drive by the Ministry of Health, and we are sincerely making an effort to support that policy for the betterment of the health of our children. The ministry is also now working directly with the concessionaires to ensure that they are supporting for students to be fed 5 days a week.
Minister Samuda was speaking at the Ministry of Education's annual back-to-school press conference recently. He said the policy would be submitted to Cabinet for review and approval. Meanwhile, children at the Mount Olivet Boys' Home in Walderston, Manchester received well-needed back-to-school supplies and valuable career talk ahead of the new school term. The Jamaica Information Service, along with sponsoring partners, made the presentations during the agency's annual back-to-school visit and career day at the home on Saturday. The youngsters were given school bags, notebooks, pens, and a wide assortment of other supplies.
JIS, I want you to understand that you're present at Mount Olivet and your commitment, it is paying off.
CEO of the JIS, Donna Marie Rose, says the past 10 years of sponsoring the home has been rewarding.
Corporate social responsibility is very key to all of us here as a core value. And usually we talk about giving back and paying it forward. Without corporate support, we wouldn't be able to do it on our own.
And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has pledged the government's support for the people of the Bahamas in this difficult time. The country was hit on Sunday by Category 5 Hurricane Dorian, causing severe flooding and damage to infrastructure. Mr. Holness says the government understands that the damage has been extensive. He's encouraging persons to continue to pray for the people of the Bahamas in this time of great tragedy. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
We turn our attention now to the Office of the Prime Minister to catch up on the happenings of the past week.
$19.5 million contract signed for road development in eastern Jamaica, St. Thomas and Portland to benefit from water system upgrades. And
we will not sit down idly in taking steps to mitigate the crisis our planet is facing due to climate change.
Your government is working.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness last Monday as he signed a contract to develop roads in eastern Jamaica. Worth $19.5 million, the agreement will see to the upgrading of the thoroughfare between Harbour View in St. Andrew and Port Antonio in Portland. The work is being done in phases over 3 years under the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Local contractors will be carrying out the roadworks with supervision coming from developers China Harbour Engineering Company. Once the road infrastructure is in place, the Prime Minister says plans are in place to begin the development of housing solutions in the area.
So the government is going to be moving with the NHT and the National Housing Agency to start developments on lands that we own there or have intentions on. And we call on developers to start looking now to the east to develop the lands that are now made viable.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave assurance last week that his administration has no intention of dissolving the National Works Agency, NWA. That confirmation followed a news report which suggested that he was planning major changes for the agency. Clarifying the news item, Mr. Holness said he had instructed the NWA to improve its service delivery to meet the increasing number of road infrastructure projects that were underway or set to begin shortly. He added that the agency would have to step up its supervision of contractors who are hired to carry out road construction works across the island.
We can't close down the NWA, but we can change how the NWA operates.
While the National Works Agency is making changes, Cabinet has asked the new Procurement Authority for a policy outline which will guide the introduction of performance management contracting.
We know of several contractors who have work. They don't finish. They don't complete it on time, but yet they come back into the process. So there must be a way within the procurement process in which the past performance of contractors feature in their ability to get future work.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, says residents of St. Thomas and Portland will benefit from upgrades to their water supply systems. Those improvements are to be done simultaneously with the road infrastructure projects to begin in eastern Jamaica later this month. The minister says funding has already been secured.
It means that where there is water, but it's not in the pipes will be run to facilitate the water getting to the communities and the households. And most importantly, where there is no water, provisions will be made to be able to pipe water to communities off of the main thoroughfare that are not getting water at this time.
Still at Jamaica House, the Prime Minister led his cabinet in its first meeting since the summer recess. He used the meeting to get an update from the Jamaica Constabulary Force on traffic management plans for the start of the new school year. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson informed that plans were in place to ensure smooth traffic flow. Prime Minister Holness says a similar meeting will be held with the National Works Agency. The Prime Minister was also in St. Catherine last week, where he broke ground for Phase 4 of the Twickenham Glades housing development. Astrum Building System has been contracted to build 110 two-bedroom single duplex units at a cost of $1.4 billion. The project is scheduled for completion in 16 months.
And this will include civil infrastructure such as roadways, a stormwater drainage system, a potable water distribution network, sewage system, and a boundary wall with restricted access and a guardhouse.
Back at Jamaica House, Prime Minister Andrew Holness chaired a meeting of the National Security Council (NSC) and assured members that the new Bail Act would be submitted to Cabinet this financial year. The Act will provide guidance on the grounds to keep persons in custody without being charged for major criminal offences. The Prime Minister also took time last week to meet with founder of the I Have a Heart Foundation, Abigail Smith. The meeting is a follow-up to a social media conversation between the two recently. Prime Minister Holness lauded the 26-year-old for starting the foundation, which aims to promote, educate, advocate, and increase heart disease awareness on the island. Ms. Smith suffers from the rare heart disease arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia, ARVD. And finally, Prime Minister Holness paid tribute to the passing of two of the nation's icons, Dr. Ken Baugh and Samir Yunus, both of whom died on September 1. The Prime Minister hailed Dr. Baugh as a statesman and true gentleman of politics who exemplified dignity and integrity throughout his public life. He similarly recognized Mr. Yunus as a nation builder, calling him one of the country's great developers of industry. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
How we run go?
But I'm there, I work for the fitness, man. No, the fitness, I'm a care fitness, man. I'm paying a tax officer.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you don't have to run, man.
No respect.
No, man. You mean you don't have to go in there, man. You can pay vehicle fitness online.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. THG, I make it easy for you now. You know, so now the excuse.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Respect,
man. Hey, you still have to work on your fitness doing now.
I'm going to deal with it online.
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. we are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
The prediction of the hurricane season is an important part of disaster preparedness here in Jamaica. Every year, the Meteorological Service and other relevant agencies collaborate to plan and execute activities that will decrease the likelihood of severe damage. Take a look.
Jamaica, based on its location in the Caribbean basin, is at a position that is vulnerable to the eventualities of a hurricane season. Basically, we are expecting a normal, near normal season. It could go a little above, it could go a little before. What we are projecting is that we will see somewhere between 9 and 15 tropical storms developing. 4 to 8 of these will become hurricanes. That's what is expected. And out of those, we could see 2 to 4 being major hurricanes, meaning they will reach category 3, 4, or 5, creating significant catastrophic damage to the island's infrastructure. We really just have to prepare ourselves for anything that could happen. And these are the numbers that we see here.
The National Works Agency's preparation for the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season has been ongoing. This is evident in the nature and scope of works that the agency has been undertaking island-wide over the last year or more. Just recently, approval was granted for the commencement of works under the GOJ's 2019 Pre-Hurricane Mitigation Program. This involves primarily drain cleaning and debushing activities. The program is the first and one of 3 routine drain cleaning activities which the NAA will undertake during this hurricane season. The agency will carry out maintenance on our drain network during the course of the upcoming 6 months. And as I said earlier, we'll do it in 3 tranches. A total of $99.5 million have been allocated amongst MPs to undertake works in relation to the unclogging of drains and the desilting of channels where their constituents live, work, play, or do business. Where our major projects are concerned, the focus is more on improving existing drainage features as well as having new ones constructed. Extensive drainage improvement works are being or have been carried out along the Mandela Highway, Barbican Road, Hagley Park, Camp Road. Work is also taking place there, Constant Spring Road, as well as along the 12.6 kilometer stretch from Ferris to Macfield over in Westmoreland.
OPM, as Jamaica's disaster agency, is the heartbeat of our efforts. I urge every Jamaican to pay close attention to its messages and act in accordance with them. The warnings and encouragements to prepare and to better manage our immediate environment should not be seen as a nuisance.
We wish ourselves the best. We wish all of you the best. We wish our Caribbean neighbors the best. As we go through this hurricane season, all of us are vulnerable and all of us need to watch each other's back.
Don't let the heat beat you down. Extremely hot days can affect your health, causing heat stress and heat stroke. Protect yourself. Seek sheltering from the sun and limit outdoor activities to mornings and evenings. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting, breathable fabrics. Hydrate with cool water and avoid sweetened drinks and beverages that contain alcohol. Don't let the heat beat you down.
Once a tropical system starts to pose a threat to the region, and our island in particular, the Met Service takes certain steps and begins to issue severe weather orders. Find out more next.
Tropical Storm Hugo has been upgraded to a hurricane and is expected to impact Jamaica. A hurricane warning is now in effect.
Wait! Did you know there are a few steps that have to be taken before a hurricane advisory is issued? Once a tropical cyclone has formed in the Atlantic or the Caribbean, the Met Service monitors it and puts plans in place in the likelihood that the system will affect Jamaica.
Hugo. We required additional staffing, especially for this.
These include increasing the number of technical staff working at the National Meteorological Center and the number of upper air observations daily, and ensuring that the weather and technical equipment in the office are fully functional. They are in constant dialogue with the National Hurricane Center in the United States, which provides regular updates on the system. Once the Met Service does an assessment and determines that the system is a threat to Jamaica, the following will unfold.
Yes, Prime Minister, Holiness. Yes, Evan Thompson here from the Met Service. I'm really just calling to update you on the situation with Hurricane Hugo. It continues to move closer to the island, and so we believe that it will be necessary for us to move to that hurricane warning. So we're just making sure that we have your approval.
Then?
Hello, yes, Hurricane Specialist, please. Hi, how are you doing? Evan here again from Jamaica. Right, I've just spoken with the Prime Minister. He's in agreement that we go to the hurricane warning by 5 o'clock this evening. That's correct.
The National Hurricane Center publicizes this information internationally, and the Met Service prepares and sends bulletins to the local media. And that is how we get here.
A hurricane warning is now in effect for the island.
And as the country prepares for the weather system, the Met Service continues to play a critical role in the country's disaster readiness, providing information to the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the local government ministry. These entities use this information to determine which areas on the island should be evacuated and where shelters should be opened. That's not all. The Met Service also works closely with the Coast Guard to evacuate fishermen at sea, on the quays and banks before the storm hits. That is how the Met Service keeps Jamaicans in the know so that they can better prepare for any severe weather system.
As vibrant and diverse as our people, so are the rhythms that guide our movement. And as far back in our history as you can go, you'll see that the drums have been a vital part of our musical story. That is why one cultural agency is working to preserve this part of our identity by incorporating young hands. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Drumfest 2019. We are here for Drumfest. This is the premier section for drummers. It's equivalent to the national finals, just for drummers. We wanted to improve the standard as well as get more persons involved in drumming and to see, the part it plays in our culture. So we had that Drumfest separated, and once it started, there was no turning back because it caters to a different audience than national finals for instrumentalists and vocalists. Each year it's getting larger and larger. We have a total of 42 competitors, 42 competitors in terms of schools, but of course for the ensemble presentations you can have up to 14 persons in a group. We are talking about mostly our young people. We're talking about primary schools, prep schools, high schools, community groups all over Jamaica. We even have semi-professionals who enter the competition. We have some teachers of drums who also group up and enter. We have congas, we have djembes, we also have even the trap sets. We have all types of drums, African drums, Jamaican drums, and we have the auxiliary instruments that we use as well, maracas, we have cowbells. Check our history. From as far back as you can think, our African heritage and drumming. You say drum, you equate that to Africa. So we find that our students naturally, Jamaican students naturally gravitate towards drumming. They play syncopated rhythms just casually. They don't even realize how technical it is, and they don't understand really that what they are doing is not as easy as they think.
We basically come here to just motivate the kids and let them know that good drummers are here that they can learn from and they can actually have a career from this. Most people might not know, or most people might think that you can't have a career from our kind of music, which is hand drumming, but that is not so. Because if you take a look at, for instance, Chronics and Kabaka Pyramid, they have 2 percussionists on their band.
For me, it's just a way to express how I feel. When you come home from, or when you leave school in the afternoon, you go drum rehearsal, feel good about yourself, release out of stress, and just a way to express yourself creatively and stuff. We've been to a lot of embassies with RD drummers. I really like it because I get to go places and meet a lot of people that are very important. Different experiences, they go all over Jamaica. It's just fun. It's a whole lot, it's a brotherhood because I'm not the only girl. Well, not really the only girl, but there are not a lot of girls. I play djembe, but if we're doing Jamaica rhythms, we play Jamaican drums like congas and stuff.
I also teach it in Ensom City Primary School, and the whole school want to join. Everyone put their hand in the air. Sir, me can play now. Look here, me can play now. Like, that's great, motivating and encouraging for us.
I like music and I want to do it in my career. I like that the sounds of the rhythm them and the type of songs I play with the rhythm.
It's nice to play, it encourages me and everybody else and feel the vibes and everything.
We would really want to make it bigger and better. We would want to have better prizes to give to the performers. They have worked really, really hard. And yes, we know they will be getting, trophies at the end, but we have others who are also excellent that we would want to give incentives and so on. So I see the competition going there.
We've come to the end of the show for today. Catch us again tomorrow, same time and same place. As we go, be reminded to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. You may also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.